We're ready? Yes? Okay. So we're going to make some salsa. This is actually going to be used in our rice and our chili sauce that we're going to put over top of the burritos. So, to start with, what are we going to start with? I suppose the onion. Onion's the cleanest and neatest. So we're going to start with our onion. I'm going to cut the ends off again. Here, let me move this over. There we go. So, just cut the ends off, just so we got clean ends. We don't want all that extra plant matter on there, you know. God, it's gross. In case you don't realize I'm kidding, plant matter is good. So, we're going to take just the skin off. There it is. Again, I feel compelled, I don't know why, to rinse it off. But there we are. Just going to chop it in half this time. That's it. One time. We have this neat little contraption that chops things up. It's freaking awesome. We're in Steamboat Springs right now. We left ours at home. I ran out and found one at City Market. So, Walmart was supposed to have one, but they didn't. Actually, I'm going to put the flat side down. Dope. So, you put it in like that. You got to give it a little force. Hopefully you don't break it. I haven't broken one yet, but I always feel like I'm going to. God.
You're putting your full body weight on it?
I am. There. And ta-da. Here, we should look at that. Look at how cool that is. All those nice little chopped up onions. Yay! One, well, rather effortful motion.
Maybe you should make the chunks
Maybe, yeah,
smaller.
this is probably a big onion. I'll chop it in half. There.
I thought you were gonna like...
So, there.
Okay.
That made it a lot easier. So there we go. There's some chopped up onions. I'm gonna go ahead and put those little bits that have kind of exploded out into there. There, ta-da. See? Onions. Awesome. I'm gonna use my pepper spoon to scoop this into our bowl. I know this is taking longer than it should take, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So there's a nice little batch of chopped onions. And now our peppers. Close that up because it's rather strong at this point. So we're gonna get our guts out of our jalapenos again. Yeah, they're actually a little spicy this time.
Yes, it's making my eyes burn.
That was the onion.
I don't know. Yeah, the onions are right by my face.
Over there with the onions. Half the jalapenos down, half to go. all the seeds out of the way. Damn it all. Get out of there. Alright, there we go. So now, back to our cool little chopper machine. I'll throw a few peppers in here. And, wow. There. Chopped them. Ha! We're gonna go with a couple this time instead of 4. Hey, that was easier. Maybe choose the, well, number you should do, huh? So there we go. Oh, hey, there's a piece of onion from somewhere. Oops. So there's our peppers. All chopped and nice. Of course, you could do this with a knife, but it's so easy to use this, and they're all uniform and pretty. So, here's our onions back. People don't like onions. They're evil. But, they're so good in your salsa. So there's our peppers. Get them all. There's some up here. I shouldn't whisper, you can't hear that. There's still some up here. There. Is that better? So, got that. Look at that, there's a freaking somebody is getting a treat. There it is.
So I'll have to save it for you in case I get it.
Oh, whatever. So, we have our onions and our peppers. And that was interesting. I already have my cilantro prepped and cleaned and all that. We have a nice little blender that they gave us here. I want to chop up these, so I'm going to just cram them all in here. They've already been washed. You'll always want to wash your cilantro. There can be dirt and all kinds of crazy stuff on there. You might even get some of your B12 if you're not careful. That was a joke! So, there we go. This out of the way too. Now, this won't blender at all the way it is. But we're going to be adding. What am I doing? I need to find. Huh. Well, I don't have my measuring cup. Not prepared. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a bit of water so that it'll blender. And normally I'd add lime. We don't have any lime, so I'm going to go ahead and use some lemon juice. This is evil, I know. But don't worry, it's not the worst that's going to come. I don't know if you noticed, we have a can of tomato paste. That's going into the salsa too. So, we got some water in here and some lemon juice. Apparently this thing is, nope, it's just really tight. So, having never used this one before and not paid attention, I'm going to go ahead with this. Really? Well, that's not working at all as well as expected.
Maybe you should just chopped it with a knife instead.
Yeah. A food processor works better for this, but this will do it. You know what? We're going to end up with needing almost a cup of water in here. I'm going to add some more water. water makes mixing work better. There we go. In fact, now, the only reason I'm going to open this can in front of everybody is this cool IKEA. It's even got a model or a SKU of sorts. 202-33249. Anyway, it's one of these safety whatever the hell openers. Except, unlike most of them, it's not geared crazy. So, you get what you turn for. And it's open really quick. And, yeah. So, we've got our pepper spoon. I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off real quick. Just, well, like I said, I'm clean freak and such. I'm also really cheap, so I'm going to get that last little, that much off this thing before I throw it in the garbage. But anyway, this thing was like $3. So as far as a can opener goes, it's about the cheapest you're going to find, and it's really cool because the can is smooth now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here just because then I don't have to dick around with mixing it as much. I probably should have thrown it in right off the bat. It would have helped mix up the cilantro, but so be it. So there's our processed tomato goo. I'm going to throw the cover back on here and hit it again for a little bit just to mix things up. So there we go. Processed tomato goo with cilantro and water. Yay. We dump it in here. You know, I shouldn't have thrown that spoon in the sink. That was brilliant. I remember seeing that fucking order. We're going to grab our big ass spoon. And we'll try to scoop this out of here. We don't want to leave any in there because, you know, that would just be wasteful, right? So anyway, now I've measured out a half teaspoon of salt, about a tablespoon of parsley, just dried parsley. In here I've got about a tablespoon of mild chili powder. It's the regular chili powder that you find at the store, the McCormick or whatever. And about a teaspoon of this stuff that I found at a Indian store, which is really hot and good. So we'll throw that in there. Normally I'd put some cumin in here, but I don't have any with me. The chili powder, however, has cumin in it already, so we're kind of set with that. I just doubled the amount I'd normally put in. And about a teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes, whatever. So there we go. And the magic is, well, stir it up. So there we go. Oh, and as far as the lemon juice, there's probably about 2 tablespoons of it or so in here. And you can see it's salsa now, magically. And, yeah. Not sure what I'm going to say here. We're going to use some of this in our rice. We're going to use some of it for our gravy, chili sauce stuff that we put over top of the burritos. And the rest we'll eat with chips. So, yay. There it is. We'll see more of this later.